Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Meet the Changemakers. Today, we're in conversation with the founders of Panda Learning. So, welcome, Joshika. Welcome, Pragna. Welcome back again. It's nice to see you both. Okay, so I already want to start off with this question. What's with the name? Why is it a Panda Learning?
So we spent a lot of time on creating like a good name, and I remember when we were on call for almost a couple hours for brainstorming, we figured that we wanted something that would catch a lot of people, and we wanted something that would probably be more appealing to people that are in grades 5 through 12, so nothing too complicated. And then we were thinking of animals for some reason. It's super weird. But we were like, okay, so what is an animal that we can associate with being wise? And then I don't know, we thought of a panda. We were like going with like owl and everything. And then we are like, okay, wait. So pandas are very like associated with wisdom and knowledge. So we're like, okay, so we're
Mhm.
teaching our students and it's learning. So why not put it together and have it panda learning? So that's what our name is.
That is super cool. Like it did catch my attention. Of course, I was like, I've heard a lot of names. There's so many because like it's a STEM subject based organization. There's STEM for kids, then there's kids teaching and all that kind of stuff. But this was a very unique name that I came across. So let's go over the work that you have been doing and now when you all started. So I think Joshika, you can take that up.
Yeah, sure. So our main objective of Panda Learning is that we are a STEM-based organization, of course. So we provide STEM courses like um, possibly from, we have made courses ranging from chemistry to artificial intelligence. And we basically do that in order to prepare the kids for a road ahead because with the generation these days, it's really hard to learn about a future career with the pandemic going on. So we decided that we'd provide a resource for the students so that they could get a more of an insight of the future careers that are very popular, are going to be popular in the upcoming decades. So that was our main motive in order to, create this organization.
Mm-hmm. And how long has it been since you all started working?
It's been we started last July. We've
Oh,
been planning
okay.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking at your Instagram page and it seems very well organized. There are, I think, a lot of people involved. So, walk me through your board and the board members and the kind of work that you have been delegating to people around you.
So, our board member team consists of about, I believe, 11 members, maybe even 12 or a little less. So, we have different jobs, such as graphic designers, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like a team of four for that. And we have the website designers, which obviously in the name have designed our new website.
Mm-hmm.
And graphic designers usually take care of the posts on Instagram slash any posters we need, more marketing like based. We have financial directors, which we haven't kept in action, but recently we started a GoFund me donation account back in November of last year. So we're trying to get that into action. And by having that team, they would essentially be taking care of the donations that are coming in. We have a marketing and public connection team where they will be taking care of any outside connections or whatnot, and have people like from different like more bigger higher level organizations come in and like support us, or maybe even like as guest speakers or marketing on a public platform that is a little bit higher on the level than us. So
Mm-hmm.
those are like our main teams, and we also have a curriculum designer. So they essentially take care of the curriculum that we're doing for like a seasonal program. So, for example, the summer program that we had last year, we had to do the curriculum ourselves. But after getting the team for our winter program, which was a 2 week SAT slash ACT prep course,
Oh,
they
so
basically
that's
laid
like a
out everything.
test prep as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So walk me through your curriculum designers and how do you like plan out what has to be taught to people of a certain age group? Because like if you talk about AI, there are different parts of AI that maybe a fifth grader cannot understand, and there's like an 11th grader who's able to understand much more. So how do you really design your curriculum?
So our winter program was when we started to get board members. So now I'm talking back to when we had the summer program.
Mm-hmm.
So that time, me and Pragna were mainly the ones, creating it. So
Mm-hmm.
let's take chemistry for example. It's a high school taught course. So
Yeah.
that course will be taught for a week long. So now looking at courses like data science and artificial intelligence, it would be a 2-hour webinar that we would consist basically every day, and then as weeks went on, we decided to minimize that to only like 2 webinars per week.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of artificial intelligence, I was the one teaching it, and I think that I just created like a little bit of insight as to what it is, and going into deeper depths of like what AI is, how does it help us out, and then Pragna also conducted a second part of this webinar, talking about the jobs, what type of what how does AI impact the way we live today. And I think that was very beneficial for the kids because they got to see a new insight on something different. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. But how do you prepare yourself when you really want to teach something? Because you need to be well versed with the subject before you can take that on. So tell me about how you prepare yourself.
So, we actually have volunteers that we reach out to for the majority of the courses. And I
Uh-huh.
know because we were like a fairly new organization back in the summer, we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't find volunteers for every single course. So we had to jump in and do some courses that we had a good, strong like background with. So I know Joshika is really good with robotics and artificial intelligence. So she has a really good background with that. So that is what she taught because she knew like the basics. And our organization, when we're teaching the majority of the courses, especially ones that me and her teach as founders, we tend to focus on more like basics or generalized information that is applicable to the society or like community as a whole, and like more into the STEM rather than like point by point facts. And I remember like I have a really strong background in web design, so that was a course that I taught because I knew the majority of the basics. And if we're lacking, which is natural, we do go online and do our own research to make sure that the facts that we're giving to our students are accurate.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing how you can have so much of knowledge on all these topics because they're not easy. And it's pretty complex. It's super cool. So tell me about why STEM subjects should gain a preference over other subjects. I'm not saying people should only pursue STEM subjects, but there's definitely there are benefits, there are advantages of taking STEM courses. So if you could highlight on that.
yeah, so you mentioned about how STEM is important. So I think it's very important, especially now that, it relates to a lot of the things in our societies right now. The coronavirus, if you're talking about that, it's all about like STEM, because you need that, you need science to help out with the curing of corona. You need technology in order to cure the corona, and all of that. That's very important. And as we progress into the future, we kind of need more insights. We need people to help out with the community in order to make it bigger, by providing more resources for other humans as well. And that's only possible through many STEM careers. I'm not saying that other arts, and those are also very important aspects, but I think STEM really is about connecting with one another and working through making working on making a solution. And I
Yeah.
think that's very important in our community.
Yeah. So I was going to say that there are people here in the US, like in other places as well, who feel technology is a threat. and there are another group of people who feel technology is absolutely fascinating, and that's the place where we all are headed. And that could be possibly true. We are headed into a technological revolution right now. So, what do you have to say to the people who think technology is a threat, jobs are going away, or kids are going to suffer because of tech, or anything of the negative side of technology?
So I think in terms of the negativity that a lot of people can bring with our organization or anything in general about technology, I think
Yeah.
that's natural, and we understand that. And that's why in the beginning we were thinking about all the courses that we could have and include, and we decided we wanted to be as open as possible to appeal to a lot of people in the community. And so that's why we don't always focus strictly on technology-based courses. We also like branch out to chemistry, and the sciences like biology and such. So that can attract a certain amount of people. And I think with the STEM thing, and you also mentioned before, like the medical versus like STEM, and why is this more appealing than the other? I think honestly, we've tried our best to incorporate medical within it, even though it's not fully STEM. I think the science
Yeah,
covers a
yeah,
lot of that, and I
yeah.
think that's quite appealing. And I think at the end of the day, if people are going to be like negative about it, I think that's something that they're going to be, because technology is something that has been changing and developing over the years.
Yeah, we could possibly think that people fear change, and when things are changing so often, it
Right.
hurts them. So
Yeah.
tell me about the best course you've ever taught, or you have been a part of. Like either you have thought about it, or you have taken it while being in the organization. Each of you.
Yeah, sure. So, I think personally for me, I really enjoyed the SAT/ACT prep,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 weeks, because first of all, like that was like during our winter break, and obviously as juniors we have our SATs coming up, and it's been like really, frequent. Everything's like going by so quick, and I think it was really nice to sit down and like really pay attention and like get some information out for ourselves. And I think partnering with two bigger organizations has really helped us become more confident that we can have public connections and such. So I think it was really beneficial for us as students ourselves, and I think it was really helpful for other students that were going into high school, especially that needed to be ready for the course.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite courses that I taught was probably robotics because I'm involved in a lot of robotics clubs, and so I've had prior experience with robotics. So I thought that was pretty interesting to teach about different types of robots in factories and some humanoid robots. And one probably my favorite classes that I attended myself would be the SAT ACT prep because like Pragna mentioned, it's all about we're since we're juniors ourselves, we need to like take those courses ourselves because it was the right time. So I just enjoyed the teachers and it was really fun. So
So this is going to be a very relevant question, but I want to know: is there a preference of ACT over SAT personally? Because
Um,
I haven't taken the ACT, I've taken the SAT,
mhm.
so I really want to know.
For me personally, I'm not too into ACT. I think the time crunch is a little stressful.
Uh huh.
So I think for me, I'm more headed into SAT because I haven't really prepped for the science portion of ACT either.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's said to be easier,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Joshika.
yeah, definitely SAT. I mean, I don't have any bias over it, but like I think SAT is more organized for me, and I've been preparing with it since like eighth grade, like with the PSATs, and
Oh,
that's how
okay.
our schools, are like
Yeah.
pushing us into doing that. So I think SAT is more comfortable with me, so I'd
Yeah.
prefer doing that.
Right. So, have you faced any challenge while trying to teach tech, or even like making resources available to the kids? Have you faced any significant challenges?
I think one of the challenges we face the most would be in terms of sometimes this was basically not in terms of creating content. We had those ideas because there were amazing people willing to help us out. But I think in terms of, for ourselves, we needed the students and we needed the teachers. So getting the students was a very hard job for us because we were like 2 weeks away from our courses and having them launched, but we basically had no students at that point, and we were like, frustrated with getting so much students. And we tried everything, and then Pragna came up with a really good idea to share the message out to the community people living in our neighborhoods, and just send out the message, have them join the courses. And they were the first people who joined our courses, which was really, it was amazing to see a lot of different kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, beginning hiccups are tough, but I'm glad you have kids now. What I personally think is that there's a lot of apprehension around taking help. Like taking help is not really encouraged by people around you, and not by your parents. Most of the times, they don't encourage it. So it becomes difficult for people to approach somebody and take help. And I think that's where you guys step in. You kind of bridge up the gap between taking help at school and then this is like this private free. This is free, right? Yeah, absolutely. So free tutoring, and that's super cool. So now as we get towards the end of this interview, tell me about your personal academic interests and how you want to pursue them further into college, saying you guys are juniors right now.
So I would like to go into the computer science field, hence the STEM of this organization, but I'm thinking probably artificial intelligence, cloud computing kind of revolved around there. And right now, I'm like, obviously I can't do much because of COVID and we're all at home, but the prior years of freshman and sophomore years, I was in the badminton team for our school, and I have this organization, and then I also have Perceived Happiness, as you know, that I started with my friends last summer. And I do like a lot of volunteering. So although I don't do much like in school, I have a lot of volunteering going on. So I have volunteered at the local children's museum as like a staff member. And I've also volunteered at a live center, like for being a lead for like a girls empowerment program. So that was something I was doing. And then I did a lot of other volunteering opportunities on the side.
Yeah. And Joshika?
I would say computer science, pursuing more education into artificial intelligence and data science. It's probably things that interest me. And I think things I've done to help me prepare would be joining the robotics team, of course, and a lot of helping out with the organization, along with running my own YouTube channel and podcasting. These are some things I have, and of course, volunteering with Pragna. So it's been a most valuable experience and a wonderful time with me. So yeah.
Oh, what podcast do you do?
So I have a podcast called A Daily Dose of Tech. So it was under my YouTube channel, so I just created it so people can actually listen to tech and like tech innovations that have been here for 5 minutes of their day. There's like I've made podcast about 5G and what is 5G and how it works, and then about Amazon One. Yeah, so sorry, I forgot about it. Yeah.
Okay. So the last question, is there any myth that you want to bust about STEM education? Something that you think people tend to misunderstand or people just have misconceptions about?
Yeah, you don't have to be a genius to go into STEM. That's like the first thing. You don't have to be born like extremely proficient or anything. You can develop your skills slowly whenever you're interested. And I think it's okay if you don't know what you want to go into. But I think once you get into not college, oh my God, once you get into high school, I think it's a good time to start considering different fields and keeping an open mind. But I don't think it's something you need to completely stress over.
Yeah, that is very reassuring. Go ahead.
And adding on to that, I would definitely say, so there's a big thought that girls cannot go into STEM, and that's a very big concern for me, because there's not a lot of girls I've seen in STEM careers, and I think being girls ourselves, and when we come out and step out ourselves, I think that's when like other girls starts to follow us, and we need to be the leaders, bringing out other girls who are hiding in their homes and not doing much. So we need to have that, bringing that, and like having them also do STEM careers, working with all types of people, and that's diversity. So we, girls are in STEM, they
Yeah,
can do STEM.
the inequity in tech is like not specifically tech, any kind of STEM major or any kind of that like jobs in later in life. It's crazy how inequitable the diversity is. I can't remember female CEOs off my head, or I can't remember female scientists off my head that much easily than men. So yeah, and I'm glad there's so many of us working towards empowering girls especially, and then students all around. The thought that I'm going to take with me today is what Pragna said, that you do not have to be a genius. You don't have to be all into studies or be a nerd to get into STEM. I think that's
Yeah.
a very good thought to take away. With it takes the weight off of shoulders that people can have. So thank you so much, Joshika. Thank you so much, Pragna, for being with us again. And I hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the good work that you do.
Yeah.
Because of people like you and the thoughts that you carry, we are able to take a step in the right direction. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having us here.
Yes,
So
thank you.